Welcome to episode number 89 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. I am your host, Triple J. Joining me is my co-host, Dr. Games 101.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
And thankfully, we got more than 6 stories to talk about tonight on tonight's episode. So you want to just get started?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. First story coming up. GTA 5 will leave Xbox Game Pass soon, 6 months after returning to the service. 2 critically acclaimed RPGs will also be removed to start the new year. The start of 2024 will see a few huge departures for Xbox Game Pass. Grand Theft Auto 5, Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden will reportedly leave the subscription service on January 15th per X user Idle Sloth. This is now confirmed. GTA 5 leaves Game Pass on January 5th. GameSpot can confirm from the Xbox Game Pass app that all 3 games are listed under the Leaving Soon section, though no specific date is mentioned. The other titles joining them on console and PC are Garden Story and MotoGP 22. GTA 5 was a surprise addition to Game Pass in July 2023, so that means that Rockstar title will have been available for roughly 6 months. Personally, previously GTA 5 left Xbox Game Pass in July 2021 after only 3 months on the subscription service. So it made double the time, so it stayed twice as long this time. Meanwhile, Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden came to Xbox Game Pass in January of 2022, so the RPGs have spent a year on the service. The remake, Persona 3 Reload, is listed to arrive on Xbox Game Pass early this year. Looking further ahead, Game Pass could receive some monumental additions in 2024 with Activision Blizzard titles from franchises like Call of Duty, Diablo, and Crash Bandicoot. Activision Blizzard stated in October that work to bring a library to the service would begin in earnest after Microsoft officially acquired the company. So, what do you think of GTA 5 leaving only 6 months after rejoining Game Pass? Should they have just left it off altogether, or?
It's good timing for most late-coming fans, late-coming followers of the GTA series, because, GTA 5 was as early as 2013 and all for the Xbox 360 PS3 systems. So after 10 years later, you expect people to buy the game, have it on sale for $20, sometimes $15, once in a while $10, depending on which industry you're buying. I personally myself bought GTA 5 for the first time back in the release date of the Xbox 360 in 2013. Then later on, they had it for Xbox One edition until 2014 with first-person shooter mode all incorporated into that game. So I bought that for about maybe $50, $60, plus the Shark Card edition or Shark Card bundle. So people had enough time to buy it on sale for plenty of times over these 10 years. Now, to those who are poor as hell, that's perfect for people to buy Game Pass right away especially last year, to play all these games, Garden Story, Persona 4, Persona 3, as well as GTA 5 itself. So that's a perfect year to buy Game Pass for anyone who had Game Pass earlier. I myself played, you mentioned Garden Story, the game. I played that plenty of times throughout last year. Only about 2 or 3 times for like a couple of hours, and like an hour or 2 at a time. And it's very therapeutic in my perspective. It's very quiet. It has good music. It's not like intense. It's just like you just gardening and killing monsters that are slime, or whatever, and that's about it in the game. And it's simple for kids to play as well. It's for any age, Garden Story. So play that during the Game Pass as well. I want to buy it myself, but that's like $20 for the game. I'm like, dang, that's so expensive for that game. I was expecting like $10 of it being on regular price. But if it's ever on sale, I might get it for like $10, maybe $12, give or take. That's my perspective of the Garden Story game. But getting back to GTA 5, that's plenty of time after all these years to catch up. I personally myself, I got stuck at the end of the game where I beat my therapist, Michael's therapist, before he got in a getaway car. He'd leave the scene, so I couldn't catch on to him, drive up to him, whatever. But I let him go in the game. So after that, I got stuck in the game. So, but I'm replaying the game altogether this time around because I lost data data saves for the GTA 5. So that's what over again for the third time. So more power to us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just thought it was kind of a waste. I mean, great, it was going back to the service, but now it's leaving again after 6 months. And I get it for and the thing is, after the holidays and everything, this is when you would expect it to be back on the service, because any deals that would have happened, in the lead up to Christmas, or at least right after Christmas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sucks that it's leaving the service. Persona 3 and Persona 4 are fun. I've never played them. I played Persona 5. I forget what the subtitle was. But I played Persona 5. It was fun, so I guess 3 and 4 would also be fun. Garden Story is not a game I would try. It's pretty much the same with MotoGP. So, yeah. I mean, but I think it's just a waste just to throw a game up there for just a few months and then take it back down. It's like, I think
6 months is plenty of time to play a certain game, though. I guess it's give credit what credit's due for the gamers, because that's enough time to beat the GTA 5 game. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, but GTA 5, the story mode itself, the single-player story mode, it takes a long time to get through.
If you had 10 hours a day, 5 hours a day, 5 hours a week, maybe, at least, you'll beat the game within about 6 months.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just, you got the single player mode, and then you got the multiplayer mode, which is always online, which is still going from what I heard.
Yep.
So, obviously people who did finish the single player mode, if they still had it, they were probably on that. So like I said, I just don't see the point of throwing the game up there for a few months. But,
I think, in my perspective as a person, as a gamer, both a gamer as well as a businessman, in my perspective, I was studying the marketing classes in college and all in the past, business mathematics. I believe that it's about timing and also pressuring the gamer or the customer, aka the customer, to play the game for a while, see how it is to them, and then at the end of during the Christmas session, or right before Christmas, or around New Year's, give or take, they'll have a sale going on where you can buy GTA 5 for about $30, $25, even $20, depending on where you are in the nation, throughout the world. And
yeah,
if they
usually, yeah. I know GameStop. This is years ago. But I know GameStop would have sales till January 2nd or January 4th. So you could buy it cheap if you were getting it a Christmas gift for someone, or say a kid got money for Christmas, their money would go further than it normally would until after the New Year.
Yep. And we had a sale on Steam that lasted from December 20th until January 4th. That's plenty of time for any gamer out there, for those who work it, or for those who are on some form of benefits from the government and stuff. So it's plenty of time for all types of people to buy the games on the Steam game. And GTA 5 was one of them to buy for about $25, $30, if I remember correctly, with the shark card and all. So more power to the gamer. So you may not get it for the Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation's services, whatever comes first in your life. But on Steam you can buy it for about on a good sale after playing it on the Game Pass. So.
Okay. All right. Ready to move on?
I'm ready.
All right. Next. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Resident Evil 2, and more join Xbox Game Pass this month. It's a new year, and Xbox is kicking off January with its first batch of new Game Pass titles for 2024. This month is headlined by the additions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and the remake of Resident Evil 2. As always, when new games enter, a few must leave, and we talk about Grand Theft Auto 5 leaving. So I'm just going to go over what's coming to the list. Is there anything on... Okay, we already covered what's leaving, so I'm just going to cover what's coming to the Game Pass this month. Hell Let Loose came to Xbox Series, PC, and the cloud on the 4th. Assassin's Creed Valhalla came to console, PC, and cloud on the 9th. So did Figment. Super Mega Baseball 4 via EA Play came on the 11th to console, PC, and cloud. So did We Happy Few. Resident Evil 2 is coming to console, PC, and cloud in 3 days, and those, as well as Those Who Remain, is coming to console, PC, and cloud. And we do have a comment. I have mixed feelings of Hell Let Loose getting on Game Pass. It's a great game, and I love it, but the game encourages communication, especially locally. I can see the community being upset by this, but I think it'll be better overall. I'm glad more people get to play it, though. How do you feel about these games coming to Game Pass? Again, I'm going to read them over one more time. Hell Let Loose, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Figment, Super Mega Baseball 4, We Happy Few, Resident Evil 2, and Those Who Remain.
Well, I like to play We Happy Few. I played it before. I think I owned a copy of it. No, I don't know. I actually got through the Game Pass many years ago. I played that.
I think I played it once when I had my Game Pass subscription.
Yeah, it was all right to play the first hour or two. I want to play more of it. Unfortunately, I was focused more on the Apex Legends tournament stuff for the last year and a half, so you know the deal about that.
You say that like that's like the past. You're still more focused on that.
Yes, I will admit that. That's where the money is. To make the money, I just made like $2 back. So you have an hour or two before coming on here. So
okay.
But seriously though, We Happy Few. Those games like Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I played it before it was on the free play day, or at least the Valhalla was on a free play day back last year or two. I played that for a while.
I thought it was already on the service. I might be confusing it with a different Assassin's Creed game. Well, I know it was a more recent one. I could have sworn I played Valhalla.
Yeah, I played Valhalla only for a couple of hours, not even. Because it was free play day, so before they was.
I might have. But that might have been how I played it then.
Yeah. It was all right. I mean, it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed, really, but it's because it's a third-person shooter. It was not shooter, third-person hack and slash, to make it like that. That's how I look at it.
I think Assassin's Creed has peaked. When Assassin's Creed Rogue came out, when Assassin's Creed Syndicate came out, when Revelations and if you want to throw Black Flag in there, because that was good for the first few hours until that one stealth mission I couldn't get past and I tried for hours. Those games I think were the peak of the Assassin's Creed series.
And were relevant.
Valhalla, Origins, and stuff like that. It's it just doesn't have the same appeal that Rogue and Syndicate and Revelations has.
Don't think about Odyssey. If they force you to use microtransactions, or get passed by the game sometimes too.
Oh wow!
When I heard that, if you want to assassinate someone in Odyssey, you have to be at a certain level to do the assassination on them. So you have to spend either spend money on them, or grind to death in order to get that level, up to that level to assassinate that fighter or the opponent. Kind of weird.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that'd be funny to play. Play an Assassin's Creed game, but you can't kill anyone unless the game is unwinnable without killing that person. Then you can only kill that person.
You can still kill him, but if you want to assassinate him, that's a different story.
Oh. I thought assassinate and kill was the same thing.
Well, assassination is for a one hit, a one hit
kill. Okay.
Yeah. Well, kill is just slashing, stabbing, shooting,
Okay, for anyone who wants a challenge on Assassin's Creed game, you can't do any assassinations unless it's a requirement. Now play an Assassin's Creed game from start to end.
Yeah, it has to be a certain level in order to assassinate someone in Odyssey. Kind of weird.
All right, so. What do you? I know you already own it, but I want to ask, what do you think of Resident Evil 2 coming to the service?
Yeah, I should have waited 2 or 3 years later, right?
Maybe.
So I got my copy back as early as 2020, 2021, yep. And I did play
when it first came out.
Yeah, I played about a couple of times for an hour or so, but I got stuck in a part where I had to go into the sewers. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the codes for the statues and all that shit that it showed in Resident Evil 2. Unfortunately, watch the playthrough or some sort of some find someone to cheat in order to get past by those parts. I couldn't get the guns with Leon in his storage room, not storage room, but the police station, the police offices area. Because the zombies are everywhere in that fucking part of that building and all. So.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're interested in any of these games, most of them have come. There's a couple like Resident Evil 2 that's going to be there in a few days. Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
Yeah, ready to move on.
All right. Next. Surgeon Simulator dev Bossa Studios lays off a third of employees. Lost Skies is the main focus for remaining team members. Bossa Studios, the team behind I Am Bread and the Surgeon Simulator series, has reportedly laid off 19 employees. That is roughly one-third of the company's workforce, with 40 people left to make the cooperative survival adventure game Lost Skies. GamesIndustry.biz confirmed the firings at Bossa Studios, with co-founder Henrique Alafiers saying the cutbacks are because of a perfect storm of events. Alafiers cited rising operational costs, funding decisions being pushed back in the industry, and big holiday games hurting indie titles. Bossa Studios hasn't released a new game in the past year, with Lost Skies planned for this year. It was unveiled at the Humble Game Showcase this past May. Resulting from this blue moon situation, we had to make the difficult decision to reshape the studio to reflect the position we find ourselves in at the end of the year. Focusing all our efforts now on Lost Skies, said Alafiers, this means we find ourselves in a heartbreaking position of having to let roughly one-third of the studio go, amongst them some of our closest colleagues. The layoffs come less than a year since Alafiers explained to GamesIndustry.biz, that looks like it should be industry, but GamesIndustry.biz, why Bossa sold off its rights to Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread to Tiny Build to create Lost Skies. At the time, Alafiers explained, we are doubling down on a new vertical, so it makes sense for us to have a war chest that enables us to weather any kind of delays or large investment we decide to make in this new game we are making. Last year was brutal for game developers as large companies like Ubisoft, Unity, and Amazon Games cut jobs. Layoffs and studio closures were a major storyline in 2023, with estimates pointing to 7,000 jobs lost. So, I'll read the comments.
Yeah, sure.
Also, there's just a few. According to everyone's sales records, times are booming for video games right now. Could it be that they are outright lying about that and panicking over the thought of having to actually make new games for their consoles? I'm always curious what these additional operation costs are. The additional costs aren't from labor, since we know most devs in the industry are underpaid and overworked. Computers and software have cost roughly the same for 2 to 3 decades, and marketing budget is a choice. Where are all these costs coming from? Spoiler alert, nowhere. This is just another in the constant series of making fewer people work more for less to make the company more profit. Game sales have outpaced the cost of making games since the mid to late 90s. These companies should be expanding, not downsizing. Yet the people in charge want more for themselves and less for everyone else. Human beings are a disgusting, greedy little trash. Wow, seems like a little bit of self-hatred from the user Love Blanket. So what do you think of this indie studio laying off a third of its employees? And do you think Love Blanket is correct? While we're at it,
well, from what I hear in the game industry or any industry for the last several months now, these companies, whether they're game related or financial related, they're preparing for the next recession coming soon or sooner rather than later. I'm not sure why they're doing this so soon, though, because if they're making money off of their companies off of these games like Surgeon Simulator and all, that's a good thing. Because if I recall correctly, Surgeon Simulator, it may not be sold billions of dollars, but it has good sales. People are still buying the game as we speak in today's world. And Surgeon Simulator was basically marketed, or at least well mentioned, by YouTubers like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, I think it was. These YouTubers were promoted that give them like sale money. So I don't understand them. I really don't understand these companies just trying to be downsizing just for the sake of downsizing. Yes, I understand they want to make some money. They want to make to themselves and all, try to be greedy every now and then. But, you gotta work out for your company sometimes, because your company determines how much money you're making and what you do with your games or systems or whatever comes first in the line of work or objectivity in that company. Because the purpose of these corporations is to expand, not to contract. So whoever is doing these downsizes of these companies, whether it's the Dev Boston Studios, or whatever they call themselves for the Surgeon Simulator, it's horrible practice. But it's legal still. It's what it is. So
yeah, but it's not just this studio. Many other studios, especially AAA studios, have been also cutting people. We were reporting it last year. We got more companies that laid off people in the gaming industry. So but I mean, that's the thing. It's they say rising operation costs. Okay, what exactly has gone up that costs more than where you had to slash, the salaries of like 20 people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get it. It sounds suspect at first. It sounds like a PR answer basically, but at the same time, it's also weird. Like when we got into this recession, it's almost been like a domino effect. Because you heard one studio laying off people, then you heard another one, then you heard another one. Now we got three studios in the last 2 weeks laying off people, and it's like a domino effect. It hurts everyone sooner or later.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it sucks for those 20 people. So yeah, hopefully they find work, and hopefully the studio can bounce back to where they can hire those 20 people, and even more so.
Definitely.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
Yeah, I got nothing else to say for this topic for the time being.
Okay. Next, I talked about it. Discord to lay off 17% of its employees. CEO Jason Citron told employees the decision comes as a result of the company overexpanding in 2020. Discord CEO Jason Citron has announced the company is laying off 17% of its staff. According to Citron, the decision was made after it became increasingly clear the company needed to sharpen our focus and bring more agility to our organization. The layoffs will impact approximately 170 employees. As reported by The Verge, Citron made the announcement earlier today in an employee all-hands meeting as well as an internal memo. Citron reportedly told employees that the difficult decision is part of Discord's effort to restabilize after the company overexpanded. Since 2020, the company has grown 5 times larger, yet The Verge states the company has yet to become profitable and is still trying to revive user growth after a surge during the pandemic. Maybe if your services work like they should, you wouldn't have this problem. This round of layoffs will impact every department of the company and is the largest to date. It is also the second round of layoffs in less than half a year, as Discord let go 4% of its staff just last August. According to The Verge, Discord is not yet in dire straits, as it has more than $700 million in cash on its balance sheet. The company has reportedly been contemplating going public after turning down a $1.2 billion acquisition offer from Microsoft back in 2021, but is still nowhere close to doing so. Discord is merely the latest tech company to announce layoffs this year. Twitch announced it's having layoffs. Unity is also poised to lay off 25% of its workforce soon. Let's look at the comments. Discord engaging in AI nonsense incoming. Their fault for nuking servers due to trolls reports. People punished them with their wallets, now suffer. The PPP, post-pandemic purge, continues. What do you think of Discord having its own problems?
Surprisingly, that's weird, because Discord expanded its services with the Nitro program, or what it was called earlier, where you sign up for like a yearly, if not monthly membership for their services. So it's like an extra services for like perks and stuff like that. So, and also you can play games for free with the extra services as well too, other than just buying them one at a time. So whatever they've been doing for the last couple of years now is supposed to be better for the company, not worse for the company. I don't get these companies lately, Triple J. It's just that they say they're having problems trying to make money, but they have these programs, add on to their services, whether it's Discord's Nitro program, Xbox's Game Pass, so that was called Game Core for Xbox with the Xbox Live.
Yeah, Game Core is like the cheaper version of Game Pass Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
It's Game Pass Core or Game Pass Ultimate.
All right.
And Game Core Ultimate is like Game Pass Core on steroids, basically.
I see. Well, either or, they're still making money no matter what. So it's all about saving money these days. It's not about making money for the everyday workers, And like I said, everywhere I go when I worked in the office field years back, they were laid off people before I even arrived at the company. I was very lucky to stay out of that job for a few months after I fucked up on the paperwork and all in the company. Long story short, basically, they told me to file some catalogs or magalogs, they call them, and I kind of screwed up on the alphabetical order of things, which doesn't make any sense though, because I was following that mantra. They told me the alphabetical order. But the way they want me to do it is different than what I learned in school, whatever. So it's kind of weird that. Plus, they would treat their employees from the start as telling them just to do the job, and that's about it. Not teaching them a damn thing how to do the job too. So it's like, I hate when that happens when they try to justify that I can't do these employees can't do the job, but you hired them and you refuse to train them. So it's kind of like whose fault is that really? Yeah,
it's just that's one thing I saw a lot, especially in New York when looking for a job. They just wanted people who, like they would say, prior experience required, but no job wants to give anyone a chance to get that experience. So they have experience. It's, we just want someone who we could say, welcome, and then they can jump to work.
Yeah. Every job out of the market, or any company of every job, they must train their employees up to par what they want to do in that company. Because not every single company is the same. There's different cultures in the company, different values, different systems. So you can't just easily force them to work the day of that they're hired for employment. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Yes, there's a certain way for employers to dump employees after a few months after having to work for the company, and the cycle continues over and over for that matter. They've been doing that for years now. But I just don't like the fact that that's the mantra of these employers to do that to their employees. Because what's the purpose of working if you cannot sustain employment?
Yeah, exactly. So, again, and also Discord, I think they would help a lot more if Discord servers would actually work sometimes. I mean, there's times recently we tried to watch Dark Side of the Ring through Discord, so I could show it to Dr. Games 101, and Discord servers just would crap out whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's kind of like, fix your systems, for crying out loud, and maybe, more people would use your service more often. They would, pay for the perks that paid customers get. But no, instead they just rather let it run, and whatever happens, happens. And then, and now they're laying off people for the second time since August, or the second time in the last year, because they laid off people in August. So
yeah.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
All right. The Metal Gear 3 Solid Remake is coming out this year. The release window was shared in a recent PlayStation video. Metal Gear Solid fans won't have to wait much longer to climb that extremely hazardous ladder again in the upcoming Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Remake. Although it doesn't have a release date, it's scheduled to come out sometime this year. The news comes from a video posted by the official PlayStation YouTube channel, where the company shared a 2-minute clip of some of the biggest games coming to its platform this year, This video featured games that are already confirmed for 2024, such as Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8, Helldivers 2, and more. As the video nears its end, it's confirmed that Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater will also come out later this year. What's especially notable is that Konami, the company behind Metal Gear, hasn't commented on when the upcoming Metal Gear remake will come out. It's also worth pointing out that this wasn't the only Konami game that got a release window. The same video also confirmed that the Silent Hill 2 remake will be coming out later this year. Although not much is known about the upcoming Metal Gear remake, titled Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, we do know that it will feature some of the original cast to some degree, and will be playable on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Gonna check out a few of the comments. Since Metal Gear Solid 5 is my first exposure to this series, I hope they remake all of them. That's nice. I don't know why, but of all the remakes in recent years, I'm the least excited about this one. Hopefully it's good, though. And I'm ready to see what the other characters look like.
Oh, yeah.
What do you feel about Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater remake? Wow, that's a mouthful.
Well,
the title. What do you think of this remake coming out sometime this year?
Well, I would expect it for Konami to make the first Metal Gear Solid game to be the remake for PS5 as well as the Xbox One. Because like we said back in 2020, our first few episodes of our recordings, for our podcast at all, we were told that Metal Gear Solid 1 will have the remake on the PS5.
Right.
So either they lied to us or there was miscommunication on what's to come for the remake. So yeah.
I think it's still in the works, but I think they're focusing on this one first.
All right. Okay. Well,
if I remember correctly, what we covered in previous episodes.
Yeah, because I was expecting the first one to be the one coming first and as remake, especially after 30 years or so later from about 25 years later from the 1988 release. You know, because Metal Gear Solid 3 is kind of like in the middle of it all. Because people don't know who Big Boss is until they mentioned him in Metal Gear Solid 1, as well as Metal Gear Solid 2.
Well, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 were took place like present day, but Metal Gear Solid 3 went back to the 60s. So it's like the origin story of when Metal Gear got started.
I'm well aware of it. Yeah, I'm well aware of that factor. I'm just saying the fact that it's like, I don't know, man. It's like Metal Gear Solid 3, yes, there's the beginning of everything. You know, Big Boss, you used to play as Big Boss throughout the game. You see Colonel Vogan, aka Thunderbolt, the the Cobra unit and all, the boss, you name it. Like these characters, it was the origin of everything prior to Metal Gear 1 and 2, and Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. So,
yeah, even Metal Gear 1 and 2, yeah, or Snake's Revenge, as the second Metal Gear is called. Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, more power to the developers. Let's see how it goes this year. Hopefully one day I will get the PS5, if ever for that system. I always wanted a PS5 for the last couple of years now, but due to budgetary reasons, that's how I can't afford it right now, so.
Do you, since they brought it up in this article, do you have anything to say about the Silent Hill 2 remake?
I will admit this, I never played any of the Silent Hill games before. I did see.
Really? None of them?
Yeah, 25 years later, none. I did see a YouTuber by the name I've been donating to called A Lovers Gaming. He does gameplay of Silent Hill over the years, and the most recent gameplay he did was Silent Hill 3. And it looked good, very scary and shit, but never thought about going to get into it myself, And if I really do want to get the games, the original ones, the original Silent Hill 1, it might cost like $150, $200 to get the, well, not $150, like more like $50 to $100 to get the used copy. But if I really want to, I get the HD remake of Silent Hill 2 and 3.
Yeah. So. Just looking on price drawing, I can't believe they'd be that much for the PlayStation copies. Wow. Silent Hill for PlayStation is over $100, $103.75.
Used or new?
New. Used. Disc only.
Wow.
I had no idea it was that expensive.
Yep. I was right the whole time then.
Silent Hill 2, it's $87 disc only. Let's see if I can find the price for the HD remake.
Normally $30-$40 used.
You'd hope. Let's see, down for HD collection. Here we go. For PS3, okay, this is more reasonable. For PS3, it's $19 loose, disc only, $22 complete, and $24 brand new.
Not bad.
For the 360, it's $23 loose, $30 complete, and about $40 brand new.
Okay.
So, yeah, at least the HD remakes are still affordable. But, wow, I had no idea the first Silent Hill was that much.
It's that rare of a gem.
I didn't know Silent Hill was that rare, to be honest. I thought Silent Hill was like one of those games that like there was an abundance of copies that you could get out there.
It mostly because it's not as popular as Resident Evil. That's why Resident Evil was more popular than Silent Hill.
Yeah, but look at all the systems Resident Evil was remade on. I mean, it came out on PlayStation. They had a remake on GameCube. They had a remake on Xbox One.
Only for Resident Evil 4. Maybe.
I mean, look at Resident Evil 4. It came out on PS2. It came on GameCube. It came out on Wii. It came out on Xbox One. It came out again. I mean, well, it takes more than 10 seconds to name all the consoles it came out on.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean...
And now there's a remake of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so, anyway, yeah, so...
and Resident Evil 4 we have a remake of.
Yeah, so, anyway, Metal Gear Solid, which actually I don't know of any of the games that are that expensive in Metal Gear series either, even the Nintendo games. Metal Gear Solid's coming out sometime. Silent Hill 2, the remake, is supposed to come out sometime this year in 2024. As we hear more, we'll keep you posted. Anything else to add or ready to move on?
I don't have nothing else to say for the time being. We'll move on.
All right. Next. Twitch is laying off 500 employees in latest round of job cuts. Twitch could be going through another round of layoffs. Twitch is laying off 500 employees, or a staggering 35% of its own workforce soon. Twitch has since confirmed the job losses in a blog post. The cuts were first reported by Bloomberg. This will be a very hard day. Our service exists to empower communities to create together, and every single one of you has played a vital role in fostering our community and furthering that mission, CEO Dan Clancy said. I know many of you are wondering why this is happening. Over the last year, we've been working to build a more sustainable business so that Twitch will be here for the long run, and throughout the year, we have cut costs and made many decisions to be more efficient, the executive added. Unfortunately, despite these efforts, it has become clear that our organization is still meaningfully larger than it needs to be, given the size of our business. Last year, we paid out over $1 billion to streamers. So while the Twitch business remains strong, for some time now, the organization has been sized based upon where we optimistically expect our business to be in 3 or more years, not where we're at today. As with many other companies in the tech space, we are now sizing our organization based upon the current scale of our business and conservative predictions of how we expect to grow in the future. This decision, while incredibly difficult and painful, is necessary to ensure that we can continue to serve our streamers sustainably without impacting their ability to support their careers on Twitch. Part of what makes this so difficult is the passion that so many of you share for the Twitch community and the hard work you've been putting into serving our streamers. This comes after former CEO Emmett Shear stepped down last March after 16 years with the company. Former Vice President of Creator and Community Experience Dan Clancy replaced him as CEO. During the same time, Twitch has also laid off 400 employees. Amazon owns Twitch, and this isn't the only aspect of the company that was impacted by layoffs. Amazon laid off 180 employees on its Crown channel and gained growth teams back in November 2023. Last month, Twitch announced that it would be shutting down in South Korea in February 2024, as Clancy said that it was prohibitively expensive to operate the streaming service in the country. Unfortunately, layoffs continue to run rampant in the new year with the video game industry after 2023 was already a brutal year for developers. Unity is also poised to lay off 25% of its workforce soon. So I want to comments. It's all my fault. I have never used Twitch. If I had, they would have gotten enough clicks to keep them people employed. At last, they can always hire mods that work for free. It's always sad to be informed your position wasn't seen as an essential business function. AI is replacing so many jobs. It's not okay. It's genuinely effed up. So, what do you think of Twitch losing basically 500 employees, or as I said, 35% of its workforce?
And that's a lot right there, 35%. It's not half, obviously. It's over a third right there.
It's over a third, yeah.
That's a lot still. It's weird that you thought Twitch was doing so well, but then again, we had the incident where those hot tubs / naked e-girls scandal going on for the last couple of months now. That's starting to affect the reputation of Twitch now, because Twitch is supposed to be this gaming streaming site, not some Pornhub or some other porn-related site. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was a hot female, you know, I'd be playing, and I was on Twitch as a hot female. Like if I looked like Amaranth or, you know, insert female streamer here, I'd be playing games while being in nothing but while being in very little clothing. But obviously, that's not something people want to see when it comes to me. So
it's okay to see that stuff. It's just that why now? It's because it used to be about gaming, right? So what now? It's switched over from gaming to hot tubs only, naked pod body paint only, shit like that. And they just sit there like cute and all talking or not doing nothing with themselves on stream. If you play games while doing this stuff, I can understand that. But if you're just like, you know, sitting there cute, not playing the game, not doing nothing, not using your skills, if you have any skills to perform or to impress the audience, why are you there? Just there to just take up space. And it's very wrong. Like all these egos take up so much space for other potential streamers that could be well mentioned in this on Twitch and all. Like we could have had another Raging Golden Eagle, yeah, another what's it called, Boogie 2988 and stuff like that. And sometimes I also hear too Boogie. I know this may sound weird for to say this, that Boogie 2988 was naked live on stream the other week or two on Twitch streams. So it's kind of like what the fuck?
I'm glad I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was well mentioned in the Twitter circles or the X.com one called like that. So it's kind of like, you know, what the fuck? Like they're ruining not Boogie 2988 in person himself, but these girls are ruining the gaming aspect of Twitch. Like Twitch is supposed to be about gaming, not about sex or sexual innuendos or any modeling per se. And if you can't want to incorporate games with sex or sex with games, so be it. I don't care. But don't fuck it up for everyone else like me or Triple J here or Boogie 2988 and I want to fucking take part in the fray. Like, what the hell, man? You know?
Well, I was just wondering, since Twitch is now all about sex, I wonder if I could play the guy game on there. It's got real females that if you score high enough, they take off their clothes. So, but I'm figuring with Twitch's new trend, I'm wondering if that would be acceptable.
Funny, James. Funny.
Well, I'm not kidding. I do have that game in my room.
Okay.
I mean, someone sent it to me in a collection of games that I was buying for the store, but I can't sell the guy game. It's not really legal to sell. So.
Not legal? Why say that?
One of the women that modeled for the game and that got naked for the game was 17.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So it's not like criminal to have, but like it does look like CP if you're trying to sell it.
Well, it's that one girl that had one game. It's not like all of them are 17-year-olds.
Yeah, but it's still. But like, I mean, if you try to like take it to like a game store, they won't even take it. They'll just be like, "We can't take that."
All because of a 17-year-old girl. My God.
Yep.
See, girls gotta stop ruining shit for us guys. They gotta stop doing that. Like, we'll let you in our social circles of gaming, but you're not supposed to fuck it up for everyone in that circle of gaming or circles of gaming. You know what I'm saying, Triple J? Like you can't just be like some hot girl, like, tee I want to take up my top in front of you guys and don't do shit with myself, but fuck up the gaming atmosphere. Tee Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, not to mention Twitch also, I know Lord of Patriarchy on YouTube has said this more than once. I think he said, like, Twitch's pay structure is, like, 30% streamers, 70% to the company.
Yep.
So it's like, how is Twitch not being profitable?
They're too greedy, that's why.
Because however much money they're paying Amareth or any other Twitch streamer that you can name that has, you know, huge following, like, I'll take Amareth since I know her name. Whatever, like, Amareth is making, Twitch is taking almost, actually over 2 times what they pay Amareth.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if Amareth makes, say, $10,000, she's only getting like $3,000. The other $7,000 is going to Twitch. They really can't afford that.
Yep. They're too greedy. That's why Twitch is going down under by the lay off people.
I'm really wondering, and now that I know that they're starting to lay off people, I'm wondering, you know, this whole turning into Pornhub kind of thing. I'm wondering if that was like a last ditch effort to help to stop these layoffs from happening.
Nah, the girls ruined the overall quality of the stream of Twitch. That's all. It's been like this 3 years in the making now. Since 2020, since the pandemic and all, OnlyFans started. So then OnlyFans spread to Instagram's promotions and Twitch promotions, whatever they call them, on OnlyFans. So that's one of the reasons why these girls are doing it for the last couple of years now on Twitch, because because Twitch is considered like a promo site for their OnlyFans, you know?
Yeah. Well,
it's stupid.
Meanwhile,
girls are fucking up shit.
Meanwhile, Impact Wrestling, they have a suggestive scene with RVD and 2 women in bed, and Impact Wrestling had their Twitch channel suspended for a week.
Twitch channel for the RVD sleeping with 2 girls? Wow, that's...
Yeah, well, it was suggested that they were doing something. You didn't actually see it, but they aired that on their Impact... This is back when Impact Wrestling had a Twitch channel.
Right.
They aired that on their Impact Wrestling... They aired that on their Twitch channel, and shortly after that, Impact Wrestling's Twitch channel was down for a week.
I mean, if I recall correctly, WWE... back in the 2000s, like after 2004 or 5 or 6 or 7, give or take, there was a foursome in bed. It was Billy Gunn, Tori.
That was TV. That was not Twitch.
Yeah, but they didn't do nothing either. So it's kind of like, you know, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So, but then again, that's TV. Different CEOs and different suits, different opinions, and also the times was different. 2004.
5, 6, or 7.
Was it 03 or 04? I forget when that Billy Gunn Jamie Noble rivalry happened.
I don't know about the
I think it was 03.
I don't know about the Jamie Noble rivalry, but definitely Billy Gunn, Tori Wilson, and 2 other guys and girls were together.
Yeah, it was Jamie Noble and Nydia.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It was summer of 03, because by 04, Billy Gunn and Tori Wilson were no longer together.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, it was, what happened is, to revisit wrestling, Jamie Noble had gotten an inheritance from like an aunt that died or something. So he offered Tori Wilson $10,000 to sleep with him.
Uh-huh.
When she turned him down, he offered her $25,000. And then they had the match at Vengeance 2003, Billy Gunn versus Jamie Noble, where if Jamie Noble won, Tori Wilson would sleep with him, with Jamie Noble. Jamie Noble won. So on SmackDown, they were in the hotel room, and first Billy Gunn came to stop things. Then before Billy Gunn could do anything, Jamie Noble's girlfriend Nydia showed up. And it's funny, when Nydia jumped, like, on Jamie, like, Nydia, like, took off her trench coat, and she barely had anything on underneath.
Yeah.
And she jumped in Jamie, not that you could see anything, but, so, like, she jumped on Jamie Noble's arms, and, like, Billy Gunn and Tori just looked at him, and they both tilt their head, like, huh. And then the next thing, all four of them are in bed together.
There's a win for everyone.
And then they became a short-lived tag team.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone wins that night, huh?
Yeah. But anyway, so, I mean, yeah, it's just weird, like Twitch, back to the, allowing, basically becoming a porn site. They suspended Impact Wrestling for that for a week, but then just to allow what they allow now, and now, you know, like I'm saying, I'm starting to think this whole allowing porn, basically, amateur porn, was a last-ditch effort to stop these layoffs from happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess.
What the Geekos should do is play some games first. And they can wear the cleavage, they can wear bikinis, just play some games for the time being, ladies, and it'll be okay, alright? It's called Twitch for a reason. It's a gaming site, not a porn site, please. It isn't going to come from a guy that doesn't mind sex altogether. It's just that, you know, it's whatever. It's just play some games in the meantime, you know?
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say.
I'm just saying, if I was looking for porn, I definitely would not go to Twitch.
Of course not.
That's, yeah. So,
but these teenagers like, oh my god, boobs! I want to spend $5 on Amaranth. You know, got some nerve to spend $5 on just one girl. How could you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have nothing to respond.
Yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yes, please move on.
Unless you have more that you want to share.
I can, but you know, it's just too much for TV or for Twitch or for what we're on right now.
Okay. Next. Alan Wake is coming to Dead by Daylight. Alan Wake is coming to survival horror multiplayer game Dead by Daylight in a collaboration that might actually be canon to the Alan Wake universe. Dead by Daylight developer Behavior Interactive announced that Alan Wake is coming to the game on January 30th as a playable survivor through a time-limited public test is currently going on Steam. A canon explanation for Alan Wake's appearance in Dead by Daylight was given too, but it's unclear whether this is really an official part of the universe or just a fun nod to its style, though IGN has reached out to Alan Wake developer Remedy Entertainment for comment. Alan Wake is an author in his games who, at the beginning of the original, wakes up with amnesia as a story he doesn't remember writing seemingly becomes real. The franchise also involves something called the Dark Place, where Alan Wake finds himself trapped at a certain point. The explanation for his appearance in Dead by Daylight leans into both of these ideas. As a prisoner, Alan Wake is fighting tooth and nail to escape, the announcement said. However, his attempt to write his way to freedom led him straight into the throes of the entity, trading one dark place for another. It even provided an excerpt from an In-World Lost manuscript. Quote, as I search for a way out for a little light in the dark, I recalled a script I wrote for Night Springs about a place engulfed in fog. As those memories poured back, the same fog surrounded me. Once again, I find myself in an unfamiliar place, trapped. I need to find a way out. I don't know why, but I know rewriting that script is key, end quote. Alan Wake voice actor Matthew Peretta also voices the character in Dead by Daylight, while the model is based on the likeness of actor Ika Biwi, who plays Alan during the franchise's live-action scenes. The update includes more than just Alan Wake, though. A limited-time modifier called Lights Out is available in trials, letting players experience the usual gameplay but with several of the familiar key tools removed. Dead by Daylight isn't afraid to pull in some horror icons. Chucky, Alien, Pyramid Head, and more have all made an appearance alongside bigger collaborations like one with Stranger Things, The Ring, Saw, and Nicolas Cage. In our 9 out of 10 review, IGN said after almost 5 years, Dead by Daylight has grown into an incredible slasher film simulator and the best asymmetrical multiplayer game around. We can watch the trailer. Let me pull up comments. Let me pull up the best rated comments. And it says, I heard it didn't do good in sales, but Alan Wake 2 is one of the best games I played last year. Dead by Daylight and Fortnite are getting the biggest crossovers ever. So someone said, so a skin and 3 useless perks for probably $12.99. I'll pass, thanks. The reply to that was try $4.99 and the perks are good. Before we talk about it, do you want to look at the Alan Wake reveal trailer for Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, let's try that. Let's start reviewing that right now.
Okay, that was images. Okay, so let me get back up. Okay. After the advertisement, it's after the advertisement.
Empieza con Xfinity.
Is it going to let me go full screen after the advertisement's over? Yes. Okay, here it goes. Is it going to let me go full screen after the advertisement's over? Yes. Okay, here it goes.
How many pages have I written? The words, the endings. I've lost count. Still, I remain trapped within this darkness. But this time, something is different. The answer lies just out of reach, enshrouded in black fog. I'm closing in now. I must be. The words move through me like blood through a vein. To escape, I must write. Though this new ending remains a mystery, I hold out hope that one day the fog will part. To illuminate my next chapter.
Wow. January 30th. Wow.
So, what do you think of basically everything about Alan Wake?
Well, it's very relatable to the Dead by Daylight house, the way it's in its fruition, meaning that, like, we all know about Alan Wake for how many years so far.
Well, I've known about him since, like, 2010, I think.
Yeah, since the beginning, since, like, 2009, 2010 of the first Alan Wake game. So,
yeah.
I did play Alan Wake, the first one, years back. Unfortunately, I just finished the game, so I can't say much.
You played it once?
So far, at least once, yeah. And I played it for about an hour or two. It was good. There's Alan Wake 2 that came out last year, so I'm way behind on all the lore of Alan Wake and all, so I can't say much about it. But, yeah, more power to the makers of Dead by Daylight to cross over with Alan Wake. You know, it looks good. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to see the guy with the tall guy with that mask on his face and all, but cause he's the original slasher guy. You know what I'm talking about? That guy that came with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, so, honestly, I kind of am a little happy about this, because I think this means the sales for Alan Wake 2 have been disappointing, since it was released digital only, so it's kind of I feel a little, guilty of taking solace in that releasing Alan Wake 2 digitally only didn't do as well as, they were hoping. But I do think it's great to have Alan Wake in this as a survivor that you can play as. I mean, they've been adding people like Chucky. We covered that when they added Chucky as a killer. And honestly, this is, I don't think we're going to get like a unique story out of this. I think it's just enough to tie him to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
But Alan Wake is also a great game. The first one. I played American Nightmare. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I played that too for the first hour.
Well, that one was only like 2 or 3 hours total. It's not like 10 hours like the original Alan Wake.
Right.
But this, and obviously, I didn't bother getting Alan Wake 2. Like I said, I'm going back to retro. But yeah, more. So it's good for Dead by Daylight. I didn't get into it the first time. I played it years ago. But it seems like Fortnite, they went after Eminem. Dead by Daylight's getting Alan Wake. It's just like, it's turning into collaboration central, basically.
Yeah.
Which is good, options for more people. And obviously it's not just a new Survivor. They said Lights Out mode is coming, which is going to make it harder for people who want a challenge. So, so at the end of the month, Alan Wake will be playable.
Definitely.
But there's actually a closed test going on Steam as we speak to make sure they get the bugs worked out.
Okay.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
This is also for this game for the time being. We can move on.
All right. The 400 Mini is a scaled-down recreation of the Atari 400. Go Berserk. Retro video game fans have another mini console to contend with, this time a recreation of the Atari 400. PlayOn and Retro Games Ltd. have announced the $119.99 400 Mini is scaled-down recreation of the 8-bit Atari 400, which first launched in 1979. The 400 Mini, due out March 28, 2024, includes 25 Atari games pre-installed, each selected from a carousel that includes the likes of Berserk, Lee, Millipede, Miner 2049er, MULE, and Star Raiders 2. You can save and resume your game at any time and will wind by up to 30 seconds. The 400 Mini comes with an updated CX40 joystick, dubbed the CX Stick, which features an additional 7 function buttons and USB, making it compatible with a wide range of consoles. Here are the key features courtesy of PlayOn. A half-size version of the distinctively styled Atari 400, emulating the whole 8-bit Atari range from the 400 to the 800 XL and the Atari 5200 home console. Also included is a recreation of the classic Atari CX40 joystick with an additional 7 seamlessly integrated function buttons, the ability for players to sideload their own games via a USB stick with support for cartridge, disc, and cassette ROMs, rewind and save games, HD TV output via HDMI with 5060 HD compatibility, 5 USB ports which allow for the addition of a modern keyboard, extra joysticks, and more. Look and feel of 1979, the 400 Mini has been lovingly crafted using modern technology, from the hard-to-match colors of the original machine to the authentic textures of the plastic casing and membrane keyboard. No compromise was made relative to the iconic 1970s look and feel of the original Atari 400. The CXS stick can be bought separately for $29.99. The 400 Mini will be available at Atari.com and Amazon.com for North American customers. Look at the comments. It says, who wants to buy this if it didn't sell well when it was first released 2600? I get that, but not for this. It says, well, the Atari 8-bit homebrew community is the third largest in the 8-bit scene, right behind Specky. The 400 and 800 Ataris are rare in Europe, and everyone wants one for their collections. A C64 has been released. ZX Next is out, so it only makes sense to release the next most popular platform with a vibrant community, new games, and hardware upgrades almost every month. those you invest in this projects already know the numbers. It will be a massive hit in Europe for sure. Back when they made computer hardware in dingy beige because they knew it would all turn that color eventually. And someone says, I don't remember the Atari 400. So what do you think of them remaking the Atari 400? Would you be interested to try out like Atari games or?
Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. That's like something right there. Yeah, it looks good to play the Atari games from the 1970s and the 80s as well. Excuse me. And yeah, I never really played the. I do have this. Like I keep saying to you guys over and over for the last couple of years now, on and off. I have this controller, this joystick-like thing. It's has built-in Atari games in the 1970s and 80s, but I cannot find it right this second, or it's too old to plug and play in right now. But whenever I get a chance to get my hands on it, I'll try to fix it, or whatever. But I had games from the 1970s as well too. So it was better on this console, this 400 meaning. Then more power to us gamers to play all the old shit with better, performance. That is, And Atari, yes, the Atari that we know now is the Atari from 30, 40, 50 years ago, because they were bought out as a company, another company that changed their name to Atari. So it can shelf its former self in a sense, but they're bringing it back the basics to the Atari games. So let's see how it is with the next few days,
Yeah, and it's not like they did with the Nintendo and Super Nintendo Mini, where it's not going to read cartridges. They said although you'll have to put like a ROM on a USB stick, and you can add in more games that way, or at least temporarily play whatever games are on the USB stick, as well as the 25 built-in games. So there are some games I wonder if they have. I'm more interested in a list to see what's fully on this game. I wonder if combat would be on there.
Right.
Because that's one Atari game I'd be interested in trying out a little bit, at least. And also, I'm surprised it's going to be $120 when it comes out in March. Is this something you're going to try to get, or? Not
right away, though. I'll wait until it's a little bit cheaper. I mean, it's affordable to some people out there like myself. Like, if I really want to move my other entertainment payments or expenses out of the way for that next month, I want to buy it, but not right this second. It's not that important to me right this second. I got too many games that are backlogged enough for me to play other games, from GTA 5 to Castlevania. Most of these games are on the Xbox especially, let alone the PS2 games and the PS3 games I've been collecting over the years too, thanks to people donating to my channel and all through their the donations to the to mail and stuff like that. So more power to them for doing that to me. So, but yeah, it's I'll try to give it a chance sometime this year to buy it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't come out till March, so
okay, that's plenty of time then. Because Tomb Raider comes out, the Tomb Raider Remastered Edition, or the remaster for the first 3 games, it's coming out next month for about $25 on Steam and Xbox and PS4 and 5 and such. So I want to get the Xbox version, and I'll get the PC version sometime later this year. And hopefully by March, I'll try to get my hands on the, not really right away, but the 400 meaning I'll get my hands on stuff this year, hopefully by summertime.
Okay. All right. So I mean, like I said, I'm interested in the games. It's probably not something I'm going to play, because if it was something I was going to play, it'd probably be something I played once and then never touched again, to be honest.
Likewise, to some extent.
But, it really depends on what games are going to be on there. Yeah. They do have the Atari Flashback consoles. They got like 9 or 10 different ones that you can get for like $25 each on like Amazon. But like they said, this is going to look like the same, but it's going to have HDMI. It's going to have extra USB ports. So like I said, it sounds good, but to commit to buying it, I couldn't really say I would. Not without knowing the game's not going to be built in exactly. If they had like 10 or 15 games I was interested, I'd be like, all right, then I'd buy it. But
yeah,
I definitely could not say it, especially without knowing the games that would be, without knowing all the games that are going to be built in.
Oh yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. Baldur's Gate 3 nude scenes are getting Xbox players banned.
Ooh.
The sound you'll hear is Dr. Games 101 running to his nearest GameStop. Larian's looking into it. The default setting on Xbox Series consoles uploads records clips automatically. Baldur's Gate 3 has been on Xbox Series for just under a month, and while there have been a few technical issues with the RPG since arriving on the platform, none has been more far-reaching than one that sprouted up over the weekend, banning Xbox accounts that record and upload clips of sex scenes or any moments that contain nudity. This can be any scene in the game because you can remove all clothes from your party at any time. I think Dr. Games 101 just left to go to wait to camp outside his most closest GameStop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
News of the ban spread on Reddit with a thread by user Daddy Vegas, who posted a screenshot of 3 separate bans to the Xbox account Big Daddy LV, tied to clips of naked camp time fun. The longest of these suspensions will end on December 28, 2024. Several users have rallied around him and even reported similar issues with other games. Xbox puts a game on their console that has nudity. Also, Xbox, when someone records it, Sublime Chaos. Funny how you can quit blowing up a tank or mass murdering a platoon in bunkers, but not allowed to show weenies. Made that mistake with the attack on Titan game, which doesn't even have any sort of inappropriate full frontal nudity, and didn't get to appeal. So knowing that it automatically resorts to banning you instead of letting you know you should delete it, hope you get the appeal, but that really sucks. In an interview with DualShockers, Daddy Vegas explained that the clips were automatically uploaded to the public server via Xbox's settings, which resulted in the ban. The suspension is pretty thorough and fundamentally alters how someone interacts with the Xbox ecosystem. This includes revoking privileges for broadcasting, uploading clips and screenshots, creating and joining Xbox parties, editing your profile, and other communication through the platform. Daddy Vegas tells Kotaku the entire ban happened in 30 seconds with no warning or chance to correct the error and was likely implemented by a bot. Looking at Xbox's community standards, there's a section for keeping one content clean that prohibits users from sharing and distributing screenshots and clips that have mature sexual content. However, as laid out on Xbox's official website, the console's default setting is to automatically upload footage to its servers as opposed to simply saving them natively on the console's hard drive. So if you haven't gone out of your way to turn this setting off, you're basically tripping and falling into a trap of Microsoft's own making. In the DualShockers interview, Daddy Vegas said he has since turned off the automatic uploads, but didn't realize they would be uploaded where the public could see them when he recorded those scenes. He said he would understand a short term for his mistake, but the year-long suspension feels egregious. I just took a screenshot of content presented to me as designed by Larian Studios. In a game Xbox took my money for, using a feature that's literally a button for smack in the middle of the controller, he said to DualShockers. I didn't go out of my way to create adult content in an otherwise innocent game. I simply documented the content presented to me in a game very clearly rated M for nudity and strong sexual content. I feel like it's if you recorded Game of Thrones on your DVR and your cable company suspended your TV service because someone was naked in the episode. We've reached out to Larian Studios and we'll update the story if we hear back. For more on Baldur's Gate 3, check out Kotaku's review update. Larian is looking into the issue and is in talks with Microsoft about a possible solution. Director of Publishing Michael Dow said on X, formerly Twitter, that the team has seen reports of the bans associated with uploading Baldur's Gate 3's steamy scenes and thinks they're annoying and uncool. Baldur's Gate 3 has already gotten around some of Microsoft's policies, like the Xbox Series X and S versions not having feature parity because the S doesn't support split-screen co-op. So I guess we'll see if Larian can work its way around more of Xbox's rules. So let's look at a couple of comments. Then I'll ask Dr. Game 101 what he thinks. I got an auto suspension last year because of a screenshot I took while playing the Procession to Cavalry in 2021. There was no nudity in the photo. It just said the word, it just said the F word in the on-screen text. I didn't realize any screenshots and recordings were auto-uploaded and made available to the public. I freaked out when I got a notice from Microsoft saying I had violated some kind of policy and had to dig to find out what it was. I thought someone had hacked or accessed my account at first because I didn't even play games online. I got it repealed after some back and forth with customer service, but they actually deleted the picture from my console. Deleting it from your console as well is wild. Mm-hmm. Someone showing that. This is how it shows up my captures. He showed up a bunch of pictures. I don't see the one in question. This is how it shows up in my captures, and when I try to download View the Forbidden Image. And in Mafia 3, you go around finding Playboy magazines as collectibles. You can view them in your inventory and upload those nude images showing off your collections and get banned. So what do you think about people getting their accounts suspended for up to a year because of something that's in Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, that's a little stupid right there. Baldur's Gate 3 came out back, last year, sometime in the summertime, right?
I know. I thought it came out around the holidays.
Okay. Well, if I recall correctly, isn't that like a M to mature, the game? Baldur's Gate 3? So what's the problem? Microsoft knew that there's going to be nudity somehow somewhere in that game. And especially in the last, God knows how many decades, where there's mature games that have nudity, smoking, drugs, related references.
You were right. Baldur's Gate 3 came out in August. I didn't realize it was that far back.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. I always want to get the game myself, but obviously I don't have the money for it right away, and also I have other games to play. Apex Legends is one of them, so you know the deal, as always. So anyway, what the fuck? You can't take. Okay, it's one thing to take pictures and leave it on your Xbox console and then it's private to yourself. But once you have that upload feature, like if you auto upload, that's where, because I have that feature on my Xbox as well, which I did that a couple of times with what game was called? Metro Last Light Redux. They have nudity in that game. I took pictures of a topless lady in that game dancing around and shit. I didn't get banned for that. It was public too on my Xbox as of last year. But this month, Xbox deleted all the past recordings, past screenshots I have over the last 5-7 years because they clean out their hard drives now for the sake of the new systems and all. Because every 90 days it's going to auto-delete it from now on. It started this January, which is right now. So you can't see that anymore. But if you were here back in December, November maybe, you'll see my past content of Metro Last Redux or Light, whatever it's called. And like I said, it's topless woman, no problem. I like 2 or 3 pictures of that shit. And it's public.
Well, you got lucky basically.
Yeah, but it wasn't as popular. That's the thing though. Metro games before Exodus and all, they were not that well mentioned until Metro Exodus. But prior to that, the other games were not as well mentioned. So, Baldur's Gate 3 is a very popular game. That's why you got all that nudity restrictions. So, it sucks. It's like you pay for a mature game, you pay for their online services every month, including your own internet bill, and they tell you cannot upload shit to the internet or their servers or whatever because it contains nudity, but if you show gore and violence on your screenshots, recordings, no problem, right? But not the nudity of a hot chick or a hot elder, what's it called, a hot, like a orc or hot whatever, elves, whatever you call it, That's kind of weird. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, not to mention, the Xbox One, it records clips and uploads them specifically without unless you go through searching through the settings to turn it off. So it's not you might not have even recorded it. It might have been something that the Xbox recorded and uploaded, made the choice to upload itself.
Yeah, that's the default feature to auto upload your photos and screenshots and video recordings. And
but the thing is, I never record anything manually on Xbox One. I usually if a game clip is recorded, like when I'm playing Madden or something, the Xbox One recorded it and uploaded it itself.
Yeah, it's a default feature.
Yeah, but I mean, now they're getting people's accounts banned for up to a year.
Yeah, that's stupid. Xbox should know better than that. Like, we're paying for these services. It's not like everything's free. It's when it was all free and it's still immature, related game, whatever. Okay, more power to Xbox to ban people, whatever. But we're paying for the servers. You can't tell us what to upload, what not to upload, and vice versa. As long as it's not hacking, no viruses, no Trojan horses to call it, whatever. That type of stuff.
Not to mention, this guy's Daddy Vegas said he didn't even record it himself. It was just something Xbox itself did. So
yeah,
how can he be? Why should he be responsible?
Because it's his fault. He has to get rid of that setting prior to the game session.
Yeah, this is. I didn't need another reason to go back towards retro gaming, but if I needed one, I got one.
Yep. Xbox guys should know better than that by now because every Xbox you buy, especially the Xbox One, has an auto feature where it's like you auto record at certain moments of the game, and also you auto upload those recordings as well too, like screenshots, clips, and so on and so forth to the Xbox Cloud or Xbox server, whatever. So that's your fault as a player for not taking that down or change those settings. So it's up to the player to know about that. And I think they do mention that in their terms of service, where it's like you're responsible for your own recordings, you're responsible for your own clips and stuff, and anything that you do publicly will be considered public, and that's on your ass, you know. So.
Yeah, so it sucks, but the developer said that Baldur's Gate 3 said they're looking into it. They're talking with Xbox, so hopefully this ban gets lifted early.
Yeah, it costs a lot of lawsuits from different players, different gamers. Like, how dare you try to tell people, like, oh, it's your fault for always uploading, always saving clips, whatever. I understand. I recall correctly, Baldur's Gate 3, that's a multiplayer game too, right?
I think it's an RPG.
Yeah, so it's public, yes. So it's kind of like, who are they fooling, Xbox? Like, I understand if it's a single player and a multiplayer, and a single player you could, like, you know, download these clips, whatever, and save it to your Xbox privately and shit. Okay, no problem. But once the multiplayer hits, like, you have to let people know, like, okay, turn the option off or on for public viewing of, like, Unity or whatever, and so on and so forth, you know? They should have that feature every time we go online for the first time on their Xbox game or so, you know?
Right.
That's banner.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous, but unfortunately, if you play Baldur's Gate 3, make sure to turn off the auto upload feature for clips.
Yeah, and they should make a balance between these at fault issues. I mean that, like, you can't blame the entirety of the gamer for not knowing that, because most gamers are not techno freaks, whatever you want to call it. Because we're console gamers, we just want to play the game, have a good time, drink some beer with friends, and that's about it. We're not into all the technicalities of, like, how to mod, how to download, how to install, uninstall, you know, shit like that. Like, we just want to play the game. That's all we care about.
Yeah. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Next. PlayStation Plus free games for January 2024 available now. A Plague Tale: Requiem, Nobody Saves the World, and Evil West are your first free game PlayStation Plus games of 2024. Sony has released a free PlayStation Plus Essential games for January 2024, bringing you the opportunity to play with some friendly rats, wreak havoc in a supernatural Old West, and change your shape in the new year. A Plague Tale: Requiem leads the first slate of free games of 2024, followed by Evil West and Nobody Saves the World. All three games are now available to download as of Tuesday, January 2nd for Essential, Extra, and Premium for PlayStation Plus subscribers. A Plague Tale: Requiem is the follow-up to the surprisingly affecting and often disgusting A Plague Tale: Innocence, which follows a girl named Amicia and her younger brother Hugo as they flee soldiers through the French countryside in the 1300s. The kids quickly find that they also need to avoid the thousands of plague rats seething through the nation, although the rats can be handy tools if you can open opportunities for them to chow down on your hapless pursuers. McQueen picks up the story 6 months after the conclusion of Innocence, extending Amicia and Hugo's terror as they get embroiled in more medieval and supernatural intrigue. And it has even more rats, where the first game could show about 5,000 rats on screen at a time. The sequel brings that number up to 300,000. There's a lot to love in McQueen, even if frustration is an all-too-common bedfellow when it comes to gameplay, Richard Wakeling wrote in GameSpot's review of McQueen. There are better stealth games out there, but its unique setting, poignant storytelling, and not infested dread make 14th century France worth returning to. Evil West also brings a supernatural lens to a period action game. The third-person shooter pits you against an old west filled with vampires, mixing your usual lever-action rifles and six-shooters with steampunk-like weapons and some really nasty metal claws. It comes from developer Flying Wild Hog, best known for Hard Reset and the Shadow Warrior games. Finally, there's Nobody Saves the World, which gives you magical powers in a cartoonish and often funny top-down action RPG. After you accidentally get hold of the magic wand belonging to a wizard, you gain the ability to transform the boring and malleable protagonist, Nobody, into various different shapes, including fantasy staples like an arrow-firing bow, and weirder options such as a robot. Using the right form for the job is essential both for combat and puzzle solving as you work through procedurally generated dungeons and try to lift a curse from the land. In GameSpot's review of Nobody Saves the World, Steve Watts called it a fiendishly compelling action RPG with creative ideas that all fit together for frictionless fun. So, available from January 2nd to February 5th is A Plague Tale with Queen, Evil West, and Nobody Saves the World. Nobody Saves the World is actually a good game. I'm reading comments. You seem like a totally sane person. Okay. About damn time they give me something I was holding off on buying. I loved Innocence. Yeah, Plague Tale Innocence is awesome. And someone said they already played these games on Xbox Game Pass. So what do you think of PlayStation Plus people, all tiers, getting these 3 games?
They're very lucky because Plague Tale the Plague Tale Requiem I haven't just to play yet. And it's on sale sometimes on the Xbox Store every now and then throughout the last year and all. But never got a chance to buy it yet because obviously it's expensive for me right now. In my opinion.
Well, I wouldn't buy it anyway because I think it's only for Xbox Series. Right. So if you were going to play it, you would have to play it via Game Pass via the cloud.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But games like that of Evil West alone, I always want to play Evil West. I heard it was okay to play. Because what I hear about Evil West is that it's like play God of War, Ragnarok or God of War PS4 for but it's more for like, you know, like Wild West standards or like, you know, evil, like the Wild West, you know, all that shit. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous because I loved A Plague Tale Innocence, so I would love to play A Plague Tale with Queen. I actually wanted to stream it, but games you play on Game Pass through the cloud, you can't stream. I guess I would need an actual capture device like Dr. Games 101 has if I wanted to stream games over the cloud. So definitely A Plague Tale with Queen is awesome, or awesome that people are getting it. If you haven't played A Plague Tale Innocence, I personally say you should get a copy of that game and play it. That game was awesome too. The other 2 games, Nobody Saves the World and Evil West, I really don't care about. But you know, maybe there'll be something you like. Yeah, but I just wish we were getting. I just wish we got A Plague Tale with Queen. More than just something we could stream over the cloud. I wish there was a free game being handed out like PlayStation Plus is handing it out.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
That's all I have to say for the time being.
All right, we only got 3 more stories left tonight. Bethesda's Indiana Jones game may finally have a name. It's not a good name, but at least it's proof of life. Twitter sleuth Koa Cases believes they've figured out the name of Bethesda's upcoming Indiana Jones video game, and while it's right up there with howlers like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. According to a bunch of Earls recently registered by the rights holder Lucasfilm, the name looks like to be Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Perhaps the Earl for the Lovely Triangle was already taken? As yet, absolutely is nothing known about the Great Circle beyond this accidentally discovered detail. Not even the genre is out there. We know from another leak that this game was originally meant to have been released in 2022, and from FTC court documents that's going to be an Xbox exclusive, but beyond that, crickets. It's been known that Swedish developer Machine Games has been working on Indiana Jones license for at least 3 years. It's the team behind the last decade's trilogy of Wolfenstein first-person shooter hits, The New Order, The New Colossus, and Youngblood. So an FPS seems likely. Owners Zentimax, the pharmaceutical-sounding name of Bethesda's holding company, have kept customarily quiet about what it might entail. Of course, the entire spider web of companies is now owned by Microsoft. We'll learn more with January 18's Xbox showcase when the game is to be finally properly revealed. Of course, Microsoft and Bethesda were presumably hoping to wait until then before anyone found out what it was called. Oh God, what if the entire plan had been a name reveal? No actual footage. Court cases poking around Lucasfilm's paperwork have revealed not only addresses... Hold on. I hate when Cook... Don't scroll down that much. Court cases poking around Lucasfilm's paperwork has revealed not only addresses like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Game.com and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.com, but also a 2-year-old European trademark registered for the Great Circle. It's very disappointing to learn this is for the game and not George launching a new cult. What the hell is it with Indiana Jones and just the worst titles? This is a series that used to have wonderful names like Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Temple of Doom. Now we've got the Decent Hexagon or whatever it is, because I've already forgotten. However, there remains good reason to hope this will be a fun game given the talent of the team making it. We should hopefully know a lot more very soon. Let me pull up comments before then I'll ask Dr. Games 101 what he thinks. Kotaku. This is Dr. Games 101. While I try to get to the comments, what do you think of the Great Circle?
The Great Circle? As they're referring to the inner circles of like the Illuminati and shit like that. I mean, it sounds catchy at first, but it is what it is for this Indiana Jones game, because every Indiana Jones game we have is not as impactful in the gaming sphere. So it's good in theaters or the movies and all, but not in games. And the last time that I can think of an Indiana Jones game that was all right to play but had horrible reviews was the N64 version. So
the N64 version was the worst.
Yeah, worse than Superman N64.
I don't know if it's that bad, but it's close.
So every Indiana Jones game we had since then, it's kind of like, you know, come on now, guys. Like, what do you expect, you know?
Well, Lego Indiana Jones was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but after Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, which was the Nintendo 64 game, anything that was actually Indiana Jones has been bad or mediocre. I think we got an Indiana Jones game for Games with Gold that wasn't anything special also.
Okay.
So, yeah, now that I got the comments up, I'll read the comments. As titles, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny aren't much different from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade. It's just the last two names in film order are tainted by a really bad and very mediocre movie. I really strongly disagree. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is such a clumsy mouthful on its face and was decided long before we all had a childhood stomped on when learning what that skull actually was. Dial of Destiny sounds like some crappy 90s and click adventure, or indeed the cardboard DRM that shipped with one. But Temple of Doom, that's just magic on its own rights. It sounds like the best pulpy adventure novel. I'm just saying it either had a film to go with those names, people would think of the names as bad. Crystal Skull is now unavoidably linked with one of the worst AAA bombs of an action movie. So, do you have a problem with Indiana Jones? Do you have a problem with that title, or is it? Is it just really? Is it just the how Indiana Jones games have been as a whole?
It's how the games has been as a whole for the last 25, almost 30 years now. Because, like I said, since the N64 era, it's like they're not doing so well with these Indiana Jones games. Now, Tomb Raider, of course, has been doing very well, obviously, because it's originally based on in a video game. And then even in theaters, the movies and all did a good job too with what's her name?
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie and all. She was good back in the 2000s with the Tomb Raider games, Tomb Raider movies and all. But not the other way around with the Indiana Jones games, with the movies to video games. So it's let's stick with the movies. Hold off on the video games for Indiana Jones, and I think it'll be good for now.
Yeah. Well, I hope that when news comes out later this week, if it's more than just a name reveal, otherwise they're not going to have anything to reveal. Mm-hmm. But yes, I like the article though that the writer called it Decent Hexagon or whatever it's called. Yeah. So. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's a very underwhelming name. I gotta admit that. And Indiana Jones games as a whole have been disappointing. So they really gotta do something to make this game be great, but we have nothing to judge on what it's gonna be. We don't know the genre, we don't know what it's gonna entail, so...
And for it to stand out, too.
Huh?
And for it to stand out at 12 other games.
Yeah, it just can't be a mediocre game, otherwise that's not going to change people's perception.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, next. Pokemon with Guns, coming to Xbox Game Pass next week. Power World's dark, violent, and capitalist spirit on Pokemon arrives via early access. Power World, aka the game that looks like a lot like Pokemon but with guns, is launching soon in early access as revealed in a new trailer. And also it will be available on Game Pass on day one. Finally, Xbox gets its own Pokemon game, sort of. The first trailer for Power World, released in 2021, was a wild and weird surprise that caught the attention of many thanks to its mix of Pokemon-like creatures called POWs and modern firearms. Things only got weirder as we learned more about the game, which lets you hunt, fight, sell, eat, and even exploit the cute and cuddly POWs. Build a factory, place a POW in it, and they'll keep working as long as they're fed until they're dead, that is, reads a real sentence found on the game's Steam page. Is Power World a clever satirical takedown of Pokemon games, or will, for all its edgy marketing, end up falling flat? I'm not sure, but I do know one thing. The game is out soon. A new trailer released on January 9th confirms that the controversial survival and crafting game, because it's got some Minecraft and Fortnite in it too, is launching next week. So January 19th in early access on Steam, and more interesting, the folks behind the game also confirmed this violent Pokemon clone is coming to Game Pass on the same day. It will be available on Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. As you can see in the latest trailer, the POWs in Power World might look like cute Pokemon, but they can use guns during combat. They can also be shot and killed too. I don't think Power World is just a game about hunting POWs using AR-15s and RPGs. The upcoming game also features base building, crafting, dungeons, enemy factions, giant POW bosses, mounts, and multiplayer. Power World will support 32 players at launch and will add P versus P options at a later date. The studio behind Power World, Pocket Pair, has also confirmed as plans to add more types of POWs to the game post-launch. Will Power World be good, or just a weird novelty that people stop playing after a week? I'm not really sure yet, but with its imminent Game Pass launch, I think a lot of people are going to be at least checking out this odd game. Okay, I have to say, before I read the comments on Kotaku, just because it's odd doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, remember Naughty Bear?
Okay.
Has any Poke-clone actually been successful or good? Yokari Watch was huge in Japan for a number of years. Tenten, Ooblets, and Cassette Beast are indie darlings. My girlfriend, a Pokemon diehard, put more hours into Temtem last year than both, Arceus and Scarlet. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think about this Pokemon-like game that's coming out on Game Pass?
I saw the trailer on this week on Xbox earlier this week. It was pretty cool. It was funny. It just shoot with guns and stuff. That was pretty cool and cute and funny at the same time. It's it's kind of like those unofficial Pokemon games, Pokemon RPG, I think it's called, for the PC and all, similar to that fashion. So.
Yeah, just because it's weird, like I said, like I said, when they said, is it just going to be weird and that's all of it? Think of Naughty Bear. You were this torn-up teddy bear or torn-up bear that was going around terrorizing or killing other bears. So, and that was actually a lot of fun. So this might actually be fun too. But it's coming out later. If you just have old hardware, you'll still be able to play it on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, but it sounds like it's going to be a lot more than Pokemon, because Pokemon's basically catch them and train them. This you can build like they said, you can build a factory and make one of the pals work in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds interesting, but we'll see what happens when it's actually released. Do you have anything else to say, or ready for the last story?
I just want to say that Pokemon with guns is kind of like a very interesting experience to try out. I'm not sure if it's going to be great or not, or horrible or suck. It's that it's something just to try out for this for the Game Pass and all. So it's maybe if I ever get a free Game Pass from my other friends as donations, I can try it out as soon as possible. But at this rate, I'm not sure how it's going to be like in its full fruition,
Right.
So that's all I had to say about the game.
Okay, so ready to move on for the final story tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next and last, rapper Ice-T reveals why popular Def Jam fighting game is MIA. Yesterday's price is not today's price, the artist said. In the early aughts, EA dropped an unexpected fighting game that dominated the lives of every gamer I knew, including mine and my cousins. This partnership with the hip-hop record label Def Jam spawned 3 iconic brawling games, but the series has been MIA since 2007. Now rapper Ice-T has seemingly explained why the Def Jam fighting game franchise hasn't seen a comeback or remake in nearly 20 years. Ice-T, born Tracy Lauren Morrow, took to X/Twitter on January to dish on Def Jam. In response to some popular tweets, one is a TikTok repost of Jamaican rapper Sean Paul calling rapper Scarface a rash chat, Jamaican for asswipe. The other is a video of Ice-T calling rapper Redman a punk. Ice-T speculated the series hasn't been brought back due to licensing agreements between publisher and talent. So many people ask me why this game hasn't been brought back for newer consoles, Ice-T said in a quote retweet of his character pummeling Redman. Maybe because they'd have to pay for voice and music rights again. Maybe. In response, a fan tweeted that if EA released an HD remake and a sequel to the Def Jam games, the company will make millions upon millions. It's hard to say if Ice-T agrees, but the rapper said he wasn't paid much for his contribution.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Here's the big problem. I don't think they paid any of us anything to be in that original game, Ice-T said to the Def Jam fan. I know I didn't get any type of substantial money. It was a situation where you didn't want to be left out of the game. Well, yesterday's price is not today's price. Says, hold on, what were the Def Jam games? Def Jam is a fighting game series pulled up to the scene with 2003's wrestler brawler Vendetta. If you can imagine WWE with a bunch of rappers like the late artist DMX, and rapper turned internet personality Joe Budden, then you've got the idea. The game's success, which by some estimates sold 750,000 units by July 2006, spawned a 2004 sequel, Fight for New York. This entry skyrocketed the series to mainstream status with an expanded roster featuring women artists such as rappers Lil' Kim and Shawnna, a character creator, and deeper story about gangs taking down Snoop Dogg, who's also the hardest boss in the whole game. There was a third Def Jam game called Icon, but that one stripped away much of what made the game successful. It was held back by clunky mechanics, a smaller character roster, and limited movesets. Aside from the ideas of rappers beating the shit out of each other, Royal Rumble style, the series' biggest draw was the soundtrack. Most of the characters in the franchise were artists on the Def Jam label. You had folks like Ludacris and Warren G, and you also had some of their most banger tracks in the background as you bodied them. This blend of hip-hop and wrestling was unexpected, but it absolutely made sense in the context of rap culture and the concept of beef. Kotaku has reached out to EA for comment about Ice-T's claims. So if Ice-T is right, I guess we aren't getting a Def Jam reboot or remake anytime soon. I'd say you can still play them, but unless you can find hard copies of these games and the hardware they're playable on, it doesn't seem like any of them, not even the Xbox 360's Icon, are backward compatible on modern hardware. This one's just stuck in the past, and that's a bummer. The first two games, Vendetta and Fight for New York, came out on PS2, Xbox Original, and GameCube. Mm-hmm. The third game, Def Jam Icon, was like really early in the beginning of the PS3 and Xbox 360's life cycle. Someone said Def Jam versus Capcom. Someone says LMAO. I'm imagining Rue uppercutting like Redman or something. For the past 3-4 years, every time Summer Games Fest or the VGAs come around, I make the prediction that EA is bringing back the EA Sports big line. They had some really quality games, and I think the nostalgia is right there, not only for Def Jam, but SSX and NBA, NFL, FC Street as well. So I still think Def Jam Fight for New York was one of the best fighting games ever made. He's right, though. Getting the amount of talent that into making it pay today would be a nightmare. So, did you ever play any of these Def Jam games, Vendetta, Fight for New York, or Icon?
I played the original Def Jam. Some guy by the name of Rob, he called himself in my college dorm, and it was my first college and all. And a lot of people playing it around him for months in the dormitories and all. And it looked good. Very impressive with the fighting styles and versus modes, beef, and all that stuff going on in the game. I always want to get a copy myself. I got a PS2 system. I also get a PS2 copy, but also expensive now to find a copy of those games. So it's,
Well, I'm looking up at it right now. Def Jam Fight for New York. I'm just going to go over the loose disc prices. Def Jam Fight for New York, GameCube, and these are all from price charting, $102. Mm-hmm. Fight for New York on PlayStation 2, loose, $130. And Def Jam Fight for New York on original Xbox, $70. Fight for New York is very expensive, so, I mean, Fight for New York, if you don't have it, it's going to, even the greatest hits aren't that much cheaper.
Yep.
Okay, next, Def Jam Icon. PlayStation 3. Okay, Def Jam Icon, loose on PS3, $17.23, so $18. On Xbox 360, $19 loose. And now Def Jam Vendetta. GameCube, it's $23 loose. PS2, it's $25 loose. And I guess Vendetta never came out for Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it. Xbox original. Yeah, okay, so apparently, at least according to price charting, Def Jam Vendetta only came out on PS2 and GameCube. But even the GameCube copy, which is usually expensive, as most GameCube games are, this one's still not that expensive. I played Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York. I played all the way through the story modes of those games. Def Jam Vendetta was like more wrestling. Def Jam Fight for New York was more fighting.
Right.
But I love the story with Snoop Dogg when you're trying to basically one him out of New York by capturing his territories in Fight for New York. The story is great, and Def Jam Fight for New York picks right up where Def Jam Vendetta leaves off. I mean, Def Jam Vendetta the story ends with D-Mob, who was the main villain, who owns all the fighting territories, getting arrested. And Def Jam Fight for New York starts with D-Mob being being walked out of the arena in handcuffs. So, like, nothing is skipped between the two story modes of those games. I did hear Icon, they even said it, clunky mechanics, smaller roster, limited moves, which is what killed the third game. But yeah, unfortunately, like, I don't think we're gonna get a fourth game anytime soon.
If ever.
Yeah.
By the time that happens, all the rappers will be dead, and the copyright claims to the rappers' music it might be like on free domain for the next like 50 to 75 years from now. So
75 years. Yeah, I heard music copyright claims last 70 years after the original artist's death. So it's not even like if the rapper dies, their music is public domain in a year or two. That's not how it works.
Of course not.
So yeah, I mean, I really love Def Jam Vendetta and Fight for New York. I just thought Def Jam Icon basically was so bad it killed the series.
Oh yeah, that's what I hear too. But the original one, Def Jam New York, that was a good game. I wish I played more of that.
Oh, the original one was Def Jam Vendetta.
It was? Really?
Yep. Vendetta came out first. Yep.
What was the one I had the one with Snoop Dogg in it?
Snoop Dogg was in Def Jam Fight for New York.
Okay, that's the one I played, because Snoop Dogg was the final boss to the Fight for New York. Okay. All right.
Yep. Yeah, I like the story, and I liked how Ludacris was in the game, Ice-T was in the game. And it's funny when like at the end of the story or near the end, like right before the final fight, like Snoop Dogg goes get him, and like Fat Joe and another rapper look at you and they're like screw this, we're out of here. and Snoop Dogg goes, fine, you die too. And they both turn around like, really, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, so it's very challenging to go up against. I hear like two punches later, you get like half a health.
Maybe if you played it on a high difficulty. I mean, I didn't even think Snoop Dogg was that hard.
No, I'm talking about Fat Joe.
Oh,
he's very powerful.
Yes, I don't remember him. I don't remember fighting him in the game. I'm pretty sure I probably did. Especially, like I said, I played through the whole story of the first two games. And most people might not remember, Def Jam Vendetta was actually going to be a WCW game.
Oh, fucking really?
WCW, after their disaster, that was WCW Backstage Assault, they were actually in the process of making WCW Mayhem 2. Because Mayhem came out before Backstage Assault and was actually pretty good. So they were going to be making that game, and then when Vince McMahon bought out WCW, Mayhem 2 was canceled, and it became Def Jam Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to get Vendetta, it's still pretty affordable, but you're going to be paying a lot to fight in New York. So unless you find it cheap somewhere, you're going to be paying. You're going to be paying a lot.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Yeah,
but they got the same grappling system that's in the N64 games that we all love from WWF and WCW, so it was like very easy to pick up and play. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're getting those games a remake anytime soon.
Or at least a sequel.
Yeah.
Because
they would have to do a reboot at this point. The series has been dead since 2007.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, most of the players who are like our age group, like 30 and over, we played those games, Def Jam and all.
Yeah.
But the newer games, newer players out there, they look at this as very violent, and they'll be like, "Oh, why is these rappers fighting each other for?"
Because it's fun.
Yeah, that's what you don't understand. Like back in the day, they said earlier, it was a lot of beef going on in these parts of the cities of New York, like New York, Los Angeles, Compton, and all. Like it was that big of a deal to have beef and shit like that. I live in Jamaica, Queens, where 50 Cent live right now, so it's I'm not sure what 50 Cent was doing for the last several years, but he took on a lot of shit when he was younger and all. And as portrayed in the movie.
Last I heard, 50 Cent's like producing TV shows.
Yeah, with Martha Stewart, I think it was, or some shit like that. That was Snoop Dogg's movie. Sorry about that. That was Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, 50 Cent was doing like these projects, whatever. But what I gathered, living here, I live in the same town as 50 Cent, pretty much Jamaica, Queens, like I said. It was a big deal back in the 2000s when we went through it all. They made a movie called Get Rich or Die Trying, and my girlfriend at the time that I watched it in theaters one night, it was that intense to watch all that shit he'd been through. It was a depiction of what he'd been through, 50 Cent and all. So more power to 50 Cent going through that shit, be a very well-mentioned rapper, and be very rich, too. So.
Yeah, so, yeah. So anyway, like I said, I just love the two Def Jam games. And like I said, Vendetta's more of a wrestling game. Fight for New York is more of a fighting game.
Yeah.
Because Fight for New York, you can fight like in an underground room, and you can throw like a rapper into like the audience. The audience will hold him and let you get like a couple free shots in. But Def Jam Vendetta actually happens in a ring. But yeah, so unless you got a lot of money, unless you already have Def Jam Fight for New York, you're not going to be getting it. Maybe you'd have to settle with Def Jam Vendetta. Like I said, I played both games, so at least I have that. I really don't have anything else to add. So do you have anything else to add about this topic?
I want to say, too, about the rapper Ice-T himself. He's no longer living in the hood, because obviously he has no relevance to the hood anymore for the last at least 20 years now, because he was that rich and famous by, the late 80s and all, so he moved out of the hood pretty much and started his own thing. And it sucks that Ice-T can't go back to the same hood he once grew up in, because people might ice him, they call him, or take him out, whatever, because he's that famous and rich in the neighborhood. And pretty much he's like the enemy of the hood he once grew up in a sense. So it sucks, man. It might happen to me one day. I'm not no rapper, of course, but if I was to say like before, well-mentioned businessman, I'll probably most likely live in the same state I'm in now, or the same area I'm in now. It sucks, because the mentality in being in the hood is that you have to be like, you have to grow out of the hood or grow out of the culture and all. So financially speaking, so that's how I look at it. All
right. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This was the 89th episode of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. Our next episode will be in 2 weeks on Saturday the 27th, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. Dr. Games 101, do you have any plans for tomorrow night, Twitch or online-wise?
For next week, technically speaking, which is like the week of January 14th or 15th and so on, hopefully I get the fix of my Elgato capture card in fully, because it was working well the other day or two when I tested it out, but for some strange reason the wiring is not all that well too. And I bought 2 new HDMI cords for it to be fixed properly, so I guess I need to get a new capture card most likely sometime this year. But other than that, if I get it fixed by the end of this month, the latest, you should be seeing a recording between next week and the 31st, give or take. So sorry for I keep saying I want to push. I keep pushing it back the recordings and all, but that's absolutely lack the money to have it fixed properly. So if you want to donate to our Patreons, Dr. Games 101 is called. Feel free to do so. That helps us out getting better equipment over time. More power to us.
And me, I'm on my job. Put me on temporary leave. But I should be back after next week. So like the week of the No, the week starting the 15th, I'm going to be off. Hopefully the week of the 22nd, I'll be back to work. But obviously that means for this week, I'll be streaming on Twitch mostly every night. But when I do return back to work, I'm going to leave streaming for the days I'm off and just do Let's Plays on days I do have work. So, yeah, I'll be streaming mostly this week. I'm going to try to make it every night since I don't have work this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this. Follow me if you did. And hopefully, if you're on my channel, hopefully I'll see you for my next gameplay stream tomorrow night. Until then, good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.